Hey everybody! Today we're going to be doing one of the most crucial maintenance tasks for this 2011 Chevrolet Malibu of mine. I was able to pick up the oil filter, air filter, and the required oil amount, all for just $32 at AutoZone. That's a pretty good deal. So I would recommend to everybody that they change their own oil. One, because you're going to be able to look at all the other fluids, and if your car is having a problem elsewhere, honestly, if you start changing the oil, you'll take better care of your car compared to a mechanic that just wants to get you in and out. And two, it's just cheaper. I mean, there's a place over here at Grease Monkey, I think they charge $60 to $80. So in about 1 hour max, you can have this all done. Alright guys, so it is required that you need 5-weight 30. I do recommend full synthetic. This is because full synthetic just cleans your engine better. It has better additives. And then since my car has more than 75,000 miles, mine's at 125K right now, so definitely I recommend getting the high mileage oil that has more detergent in it. Helps keep your engine cleaner and helps keep the valves and gaskets more lubricated. Alright, and then the filter that you need is this one here, S9018RXL. This is the filter for the air, SA9492. Alright guys, so we're gonna hit it. Let's get this done. So I went ahead and drove about 2-3 miles, get my car engine warmed up so that the oil will come out quicker and more smoothly. I just drove about until the gauge on the dash for the heat reached about 1/3. Then I went ahead and just lifted up the car on these ramps. I recommend that you get them. You can use jack stands, but these are just so much easier, guys. Next, you'll want an oil pan. That's definitely necessary. And then this tray is not necessary, but if you want to stay cleaner, I 100% would recommend it. You also want enough rags or napkins, whatever you're going to be using, to clean up all the oil that might spill. It's always good to have them handy and be prepared. Alright, so working from top to bottom, let's go ahead and check out the oil filter. I gotta say, being a Chevrolet Malibu owner, we're supremely blessed because we don't have to buy one of these tools. This is for a Toyota Corolla to take off their oil filter. And luckily, you can just use any open-end wrench. This is on its max setting. And then if you just wiggle it on there, you can just loosen it up, but let's not do that quite yet because we need to drain the oil. So here I have my box wrench set, and the bolt below is a 15 millimeter. Alright, so here's my 15 millimeter box wrench. Here's my oil pan and tray. Let's go ahead and dive underneath. Alright, so here, looking at the oil pan, this guy right here. And then right on the back, right there, is what we need to take off. Make sure that the trajectory of the oil lines up with your pan here. Usually shoots out good 3 to 4 inches, sometimes 6 inches, but no matter. Let's go ahead and loosen her up. So that was actually on there pretty hard, so I already loosened it up using this mallet. Let's give it a good couple taps. Now that I've done that, I can just go ahead keep on loosening it. See some oil start to drip out. And if your engine block isn't too hot, you can just go ahead and use your fingers. That's what I'd recommend. It's a lot faster. Then you'll just let it drop right into the oil pan below. Or you can hold it. And then just adjust to the flow. Alright, so this will drain in about 20 to 30 minutes. Doesn't have to be completely drained. But you'll also want to go up top and remove the filler cap. Alright, so let's remove the filler cap. Just going to want to loosen it up. Then just leave it like so that air can get in. That pressure will be relieved. It'll help drain it a lot faster. Yet leave it on there so that no contaminants gets in there. You can hear it down below. It's coming out more now. So I actually fished out the oil plug, cleaned it off. Always want to do that because there's a lot of contaminants from the old oil and possibly some metal shavings that might be on there. Alright, so since we removed the filler cap and the main flow has pretty much passed, relieving a lot of the pressure, we're going to go ahead and now take off our oil filter cap here. So it's really loosened by hand. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so there we go. And with it, sometimes can come the old oil filter. You'll want to leave it in there for a second, the old one, just so that old oil can keep draining out. So while we let that drain, let's go ahead and take the oil filter cap. Here we have the gasket from the old one. Let's come over to here. Let's talk about replacing that new oil filter. So you'll always want to replace the gasket, and with that, you'll want to take some of the new oil. You could use the old as well, but I'd recommend using new, as it will help keep it better lubricated. You'll just bathe the ring, just going around with your finger in the oil. Alright, so I just used a flathead screwdriver to kind of pry the old one off. Just set it there. Then what I like to do usually is just take your new oil, take the cap to that, just pour enough in there for a couple reasons. One was what I was talking about. We're going to just go ahead and kind of lubricate it up. We'll help it slide on to our cap easier. Also help it not crack and seal it better. So that's good. Alright, so I just slid it back on. And though it's on there, you don't have to force it on there too hard. And then with our new filter, the other reason that we're going to have some extra oil is that you will want to begin the filtering process by just drizzling some of the new oil into the new filter. It'll help it to absorb the changed oil faster. So just in the box, I drizzled like 2 capfuls of oil on there. Let that soak in. And now I want to take, let's just go ahead and take the new filter. We'll place it in this end in. You'll hear it click like that. Let's set that to the side. Now let's take our old box and some of these napkins. Need quite a few because we're going to now remove that old filter. So want probably about, I'd just put like 2 napkins in our old filter box because this old filter is going to be having a ton of oil leak everywhere. And that box just really helps contain it all with that cardboard. Alright, so just place it in there. And then I would recommend just taking a napkin or a clean non-fibrous rag and getting out that old oil that you see pooled right into there. Alright guys, so I went ahead and cleaned that. Alright, now that puppy bad boy is nice and clean, we can go ahead, come over here, take our new filter, already placed in the cap. I'm just going to fit it down in there. I want to push into these hoses on the right here. And let's get that seat correctly. And then you don't want to ever over tighten this, just because it's plastic with metal. That would just be double bad. So alright, I'm going to take this and just get it to where it's wrist tight, just using my wrist to tighten it, not with my whole forearm to really just go at it. That has been tightened completely now. You'll fill its seat, and you don't want to go over that. Alright, so while that's still draining, we can go ahead and change our air filter if it needs it. I'm pretty sure mine's okay, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do that. So first things first, there's really only 3 things that we have to undo to get into our air box here. And so just for ease of use and to not strain our hoses, we're going to just undo this clamp here. I already pre-loosened it. So this just will wiggle right off. So you'll want to have that mostly off. Doesn't have to be completely off. Mine's being a little stubborn, but it's mostly off there. And just undo these 2 clips at the top. And then, as you just kind of pull away, and then this thing will get in the way for the, I believe that's for air conditioning. We'll just pull that up and above, and right there. So, alright, yeah, so I was right. My air filter is nice and clean. Let's go ahead and just rip her out here though, see what she looks like on the other side. So, a little dirty. Probably could go for another oil change, to be honest though. Air filters, they honestly last for quite some time. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there. If you were to change it, you just go ahead and make sure that this tab is on the left. You can also see it in the box there. Anyways, so let's go ahead and put that right back in there. Going from kind of more from the top. Just go ahead and squish that right in there. Kind of get that connected to there, and then there's just this part here. So the box will connect down here, and then over here there's another one. But we'll want to just push into that first, kind of pulling this part of the box up, and this part of the box down here, pushing that down into it. You'll want to connect this here, this hose, and then seat it into these 2 edges at the bottom of the airbox, and that will just click right into place. I want to go ahead, do those top 2. Take your flathead, make sure that your hose is connected right up to this edge right here on the airbox, and you'll want to just tighten it up good and tight, making sure that that's also with that rubber placer there. That looks good, just to be sure though. Here's that. Perfect, so within that time, that should have been about at least 20, max 40 minutes, and that should have your oil completely out to a point where we can just go ahead and take our oil drain bolt. Let's go ahead and get under here. And it's okay, that's still dripping a little bit. Just as long as it's mostly done. Let's go ahead and hand tighten that first. Take our 15mm box wrench. And again, you don't have to overdo it, but you definitely want this to be nice and tight. You don't want your oil leaking. Then you just always wipe up that excess oil that is around there. So the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine requires 4.7 quarts of oil. Perfect, so got it to the right level. One thing that would be wise for anybody to do, however, would be to just go get it warmed up again, 3 miles of a drive, and then take another reading, fill it up. So if it's down to at least about 3/4 full, be wary of overfilling it, as that can add extra pressure on the engine. It'll actually work against the engine, so don't do that. Lastly, what we'll want to do, guys, is just go ahead and turn your car to the on position or the second notch. Don't crank it. And then hold both the info and return buttons down for a couple seconds, then release. And then this will give to the part where we can reset our oil life percentage. So what we'll do is just hold down the return button. Oh, didn't do it fast enough. So hold them both down, let go, and then hold the return button. And I'll say acknowledge. And congratulations, guys, we have just completed it all. Now it's set oil life 100%. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Please like, comment, or subscribe if you'd like to see more videos on maintenance for your Chevrolet Malibu.